esteemed guests, co-panelists, and friends. I thank the organizers of this function for inviting me to share my views on the subject under consideration. Now, whenever a rape occurs, what does it tell us? It tells us that male power and lust has been unleashed on a woman against her will. Now, where does this male power come from? Who has given this man the power to rape a woman? Friends, I'm going to argue and show that it is our patriarchal culture and upbringing that confers this power on a man. So what is patriarchy? Patriarchy or Pitrusatta is an ideology that privileges man over woman. It is a system where men enjoy greater weightage as compared to women. In simple words, patriarchy is male domination. How does patriarchy operate? It operates mainly through the family. When a woman is pregnant, everyone in the family prays for a male child. Today, with medical technology, they can actually detect the female fetus and selectively destroy it. The rich and the poor, in cities and small towns, are availing of illegal sex selection, and this has resulted in dangerously skewed sex ratios at birth in large parts of the country. Many activists describe the situation in India as silent genocide. If the little girl manages to escape this brutal fate and is born, she encounters many forms of discrimination vis-à-vis her male siblings. She is given less food, less nourishment, less medical attention, less pampering and cuddling than her brothers. She gets enrolled in school last and is the first to drop out. Boys are not expected to share in the housework. Girls, on the other hand, are expected to help their mothers in housework and cooking. Boys can stay out late, while girls have to be back at a decent hour. Let us go one step further in the life cycle of the girl. When she reaches a certain age, parents start worrying about her marriage. They also worry about dowry to be given to the boy's family. This dowry is directly proportional to the boy's education. The girl's education is of no consequence at all. After marriage, it is the girl who has to go to her husband's place. He continues to reside in his own home. What happens after marriage? Do women have the right to decide whether or not they want to go out to work? Do women have the right to decide whether or not they want to have children? How many children? At what intervals? Can a woman say no to sex after marriage without facing the consequences? Let us consider the woman in public place. Does she have the right not to be stared at, not to be commented upon, not to be touched or molested? Does a woman in the workplace have the right not to be discriminated on account of her sex, not to be denied equal wages, maternity leave, skills training, promotion? Does she have the right to a safe and secure work environment free of sexual harassment? Friends, the answer to all these questions is a big no. The harsh reality is that equality between men and women is a distant dream in spite of all the achievements of women. As of now, they are brought up to be unequal and to accept this inequality. Now, why do men want to keep women in a state of subservience and subordination? Because they stand to gain enormously by the control over women's sexuality, fertility, and labor. They get free sex on demand. They can have as many children as they please. They have food and other home comforts for the asking. In short, their wives are at their beck and call 24/7. If a husband had to pay for all the services provided by his wife at home, his salary would have to be fivefold. Patriarchy serves men's economic, social, and sexual interest. All men stand to gain by the system. Now, what keeps the system so stable? The system is kept stable and in place with patriarchal socialization, which shapes masculinity and femininity in gendered ways. It tells boys that they are the preferred sex, the superior sex, the strong sex, and tells girls that they are the second sex, the inferior sex, the weaker sex. Little boys are given trucks, trains, and guns to play with. Little girls are given dolls. It encourages boys to go out and play tough and rough games, which builds their confidence and strength, while confining girls indoors. Boys are discouraged from crying if they are scared or hurt. They are labeled sissy if they cry. Girls are discouraged from laughing aloud, wearing shorts, cutting their hair short, terming such behavior as tomboyish. In other words, boys and girls are brought up to perform different roles. The boys are prepared for their public role, the girls for their domestic role. The former is socially and economically valued, the latter is devalued. This then is patriarchal socialization. Not just that, patriarchy constructs masculinity or mardangi such that it degrades women. It treats women with utter disrespect and contempt, perceives her to be an object of male desire and gratification. This explains why men feel free to stare at women, pass crude comments, molest them, beat them up, rape them. Rape is but the extreme manifestation of this power equation between men and women. But this power gets expressed in a million other ways which are considered normal by society. Wife beating, rape within marriage is not considered as violence against women, despite what the laws tell us. Eve teasing and molestation is not considered a serious offense. When all these are treated lightly by society, is it any wonder that a man believes it is his birthright to rape? So much so that if a woman dares to fight back, he inflicts further injury on her, including death. We often hear of men throwing acid on a girl's faces for refusing their advances. Friends, this supreme male arrogance does not drop from the sky. It is deeply inculcated in him since his birth and embedded in his psyche. Have you given a thought to the common swear words or galis that are all too common? The ones on mother and sister. That, friends, is verbal rape or shabdik balatkar. Even the word sala, when used as a gali or a swear word, means I'm raping your sister. Therefore, rape should not be seen in isolation, but as a culmination of the various forms of violence endorsed and practiced against women in daily life. It is true that rape may not happen to all women, but the threat of rape keeps all women in a constant state of fear and intimidation. Rape is nothing short of sexual terrorism. It keeps women passive, subservient, and dependent on and under the control of men. This precisely is the objective of patriarchy. All of us, men and women, are part of this patriarchal system that confers this power on man. Since patriarchy is the dominant ideology, it is internalized by both man and woman, and both are instrumental in carrying it forward from generation to generation. In fact, it is the woman who is mainly responsible in socializing her son and daughter in gendered ways. That, friends, is the beauty of patriarchy. It uses its very victims, the women, to perpetuate the system. It is also the reason why patriarchy as a system is so successful and stable. How do we combat this hierarchical gender system and replace it with something egalitarian and humane? We will have to go back to the family and start at the beginning. We need to teach our sons to cook, clean, share, and care, and our girls to box and fight. We need to encourage our girls to take up careers, move out, live on their own, and make their own decisions. We need to teach our sons to respect girls, meaning respect their views, their choices, their individuality. We need to lobby for gender sensitization sessions on a regular basis in high schools and colleges. Organizations should mandatorily have zero tolerance for sexual harassment and an equal opportunity policy in place. Friends, the fight for gender equality is a fight to establish a more humane society, a more inclusive one that recognizes and accepts equality of all genders, not just man and woman. Thank you.